Hello everyone. Hi. How many masters people do we have in the room? Masters. We've got just a couple. We've got a few. Excellent. That's what I was just checking out. That was the slight delay in restarting. Tim is already up there in the new spot. But what's going to happen is that amazing Hakeem is going to talk about what he is going to talk about, being a Speech Pathology Australia member, new member, and then he will take remaining master's students up the hill. So, all good. Over to Hakeem. You can explain who you are and everything.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Hakeem. So I graduated my master's degree not even yet, technically. I haven't had the ceremony, so I'm that fresh off the press. I'm a representative for Speech Pathology Australia. I'm on the board with them, and just to not take up too much of your time, I know that starting uni can be a sort of confusing experience in terms of not knowing exactly what to expect or not knowing your cohort in a way that kind of can make you feel a bit anxious or not exactly at ease. So what we'd like to do at SPA is we're offering just a free barbecue in 2 weeks' time on March the 8th. If anyone's interested at all, it's going to be an opportunity to not only just have some free drinks and a free barbecue, free food, but kind of meet your peers in terms of who is around at this uni and also the other universities. So it can provide an experience for you in the future to kind of know and network ahead of time. On top of that, we also just want to let you know what SPA actually does, because you'll need to register with them when you're a practicing speech pathologist, assuming you work in the private sector. So it's worthwhile, I think, kind of knowing now, what is it that we even do? What is it that I can get out of this myself? So I would like to invite you all there. If you're interested, you can just register up there. I've asked Catherine as well to just distribute this when she has an opportunity, so expect it in your email sometime. It's a good habit to check your emails as well as early as you can when you're a university student, but that's pretty much it. I'm also now going to lead the masters to where they need to be. So thank you everyone for your time, and I hand it back over to Catherine.
Thanks, Catherine. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Love. Bye. Have a good time. Okay, so I'm just also going to find what you have sent me, Kat. Which, these are all the groups, and there's a message from Sophie, which I will play. It's attached. There it is. I'll just get it up and going, and then I'll pause it until we need it.
Hi, my name is Sophie. I'm so sorry I can't be there in person today. I'm so excited to meet you all.
There we go. I will play that afterwards. Yay! Thanks, Sophie. Supportive peers. See, that's what we're like in speech pathology. We support each other with everything that needs supporting, to be honest. Don't we, Kat? Yeah. That's why we're just such a great teaching team as well. Massive support for one another and for you as students. So, just a kind of a bit of a regroup and coming back to thinking about what we need to know about in orientation. So it's all marvellous first year Bachelor students in the room, apart from our marvellous mentors. Haven't forgotten. So, lovely to have you here. We're going to spend most of what we're doing in this next couple of hours at the most, really, together, isn't it? You met Kat earlier as the person who has organised your mentors to support you for first semester. We found it incredibly important. I won't go on about it because I'll leave that to Kat. So please do make sure that you spend some time going up to the hub, having a look at everything that's on up there, getting to know where all the different places you can buy food from, places you can go to catch up with people, the central library up there. All of those things are really important, and your mentors will be going through a lot of that when they chat with you. So in next week, there will be the Welcome Hub and the Market Day, quiz night, all kinds of other marvellous things going on. Meditation and conversation. Oh, sounds great. I'm going up for that. Lots of things. Who's been up to the Hub so far? Maybe about half a year. I'm glad that third years have been up there. That's great. There's lots to explore up there. Don't think that being at university here, because a lot of our things are here in the medical centre, some down at Sturt, some up in health sciences on the way to the Hub. Doesn't mean that that's all that you have access to here. So these are some of the key dates. Obviously, we are here on the 25th of February in O Week, Connect Week, which is when there are some even more events. Funnily enough, the theme is connecting with other students. Classes obviously start next week for all of us, and there are some essential dates there. 14th of March is the last day to enrol in topics, so like Tim and I were talking about earlier this morning, around if you're having any difficulty, around am I enrolled in all of the topics I need to be enrolled in, and all of those types of things, and your mentors can absolutely support you with that. The last day to do that is the 14th of March. Now you might be asking, what's a census date? The census date is the date that the university sets. There's one set in each semester of your study, and it's the time where if things aren't working out the way that you had hoped, now again, don't want this to be happening, but if it hasn't and you're really thinking I need to take some time away from my studies, that is the time for you to withdraw without having any fees. Okay, so that's why it's an essential date. The university gives you 4 weeks to kind of get into it, go to your classes, start studying, thinking about it, and then you can withdraw. So that's the first one, no fees at the census date. The last day to withdraw without a fail is week 9, which it's a Friday the 16th of May. So you'll still need to pay for your topics, but you can withdraw without having a fail on your academic record. What's super important as bachelor students is you know that it's not advertised out there as a part-time degree, obviously, because it's 4 years of full-time study, and the rule is that Speech Pathology Australia, who are our governing body, as Hakeem was just introducing you to, is that you need to complete your studies within 7 years of starting, okay? And that's tied in with accreditation for our course and for seeing you as a relevant continuing student. So that means that you can't do it in 8 years, obviously, fully part-time, but please don't think that there aren't ever options, okay? So if you're going, this load is too much for me, email me. Like if it's kind of gone beyond the getting all those supports that Mel was talking about earlier, or the other supports we've drawn your attention to today, and you're like, no, I'm really at a point where I want to seriously discuss the possibility of withdrawing from 1 or 2 topics, it's usually 2, then make a time to come and see me, because I will assist you in putting together a study plan. It's really important that we do that together, that you don't do that by yourself. Even though you can physically withdraw from topics yourself, really important we work it out together so that we've got a plan set in place, and we've worked out how you're going to progress the course through the course still within that 7 years. Does that make sense? Yeah, but please don't think there aren't options. But it's really important that you have that advice as to how to work that out. Super important. I know that the third years will tell you this. Please do not book anything else. Make yourself available for your examination times, okay? Not just for your exam times, but for your deferred exam week. because the university exam assessment policy is that you need to be available. You have to be available during those weeks. There are certain things that will give you potential dispensation for that, or special circumstances. Of course there are, because we're all different. You know, for example, we have some people who have enrolled and they're elite athletes, and so, or they're, you know, there's something else. I won't go into all of the possibilities, but just know that that you need to be available. I have had students go overseas thinking, oh, I'm not going to need my sup week. Yes, they did. And the rule is that if you have, it's only unanticipated circumstances that you will be allowed to still sit your sup. And because we're a degree where you have to do all the topics, and even though we're lovely, all of us in the room together here, we're not a large program where we have multiple offerings of topics. So you may have to wait a year to redo the topic if you choose not to do the supplementary exam. That's the heaviest stuff, but just important stuff to be clear about, yeah? So do not book trips away, holidays. As the third years know, don't do that when you're meant to be on placement either. Lots of big nods. Because placements, once you get to placement time as a senior student, like our lovely third years here, as senior students, placements can happen at any time during the year, during the calendar year. So they're not stuck to semester times. Claire, who you met earlier today, does so much to make sure that there are lots and lots of placements available to cover all of our students. So it's really important that you're available. Any questions about that? It's all good. If in doubt, ask. Doesn't have to just be now. Visit Canvas. Keep an eye out for Ping, which is some important newsletters that come out, following socials. Consider joining the Student Association, and please know about those supports. So, the curriculum. You will see from this, this needs updating, but from this slide, you will see the progression of all the topics that you need to do in order to graduate from the Bachelor of Speech Pathology. It's a lot, isn't it? And you're at the very beginning where you'll be doing SPTH 1201, Psychosocial Aspects of Speech Pathology. Rachel, who you met, is your topic coordinator. Health 1004, which is Roeda Sleem, who's from Health Sciences. That's the one that you can either do online or down in person at Sturt. Is the topic coordinator for that topic, which is kind of like the introduction to general anatomy and physiology, which you must pass before you can clearly go into anatomy and physiology of speech with Rebecca Francis, the topic coordinator who wasn't here today, where you get into the more specifics around anatomy and physiology. Linguistics and phonetics 1506 with ARN needs to be passed before you can go into the more complex topic in second semester. Like it's pretty, it's very logical, isn't it? Like you need to be doing you need to show a certain level of capacity, capability, skills before you can go into the second semester topics. And then introduction to clinical skills and practice with Amazing Cat is really important that you can pass before you can come into some of these second year topics where you will meet me again along with Tim, as well as Rebecca and Megan as your educators for those topics in first semester, and then Sebastian and Jane in second semester, and Paige. Phew. Any questions about this progression? It's a lot. So, 4 topics per semester. It's the main thing for you to think about for first year. in order to be doing a full-time load, you should be enrolled in your 4 topics for this semester. But as I said, got a couple of weeks to sort it out. If it's not quite there yet, to use the lovely helpful people. This is incorrect, going from research methods 1202 straight into research methods in speech pathology in 4th year. This is one of the things I need to change on here, is this arrow. Oh, you can't actually do that. So, oh look, I just talked about it without showing people. There you all are, on your slides. Amazing Cat, Rowena and Rachel. Talked about SPA student membership. Highly recommend. Your path to communication brilliant starts here. That's a nice little way of thinking about it. Welcome to uni. And this is the information from Hakeem, again, which will be on your slides in your Bachelor General Flow site. So we do need to have some first year student representatives. You don't have to put your hand up now, but it is a really important role because you get to meet with me once a semester to be the conduit for the rest of your cohort. It's something that you can put on your resume, on your CV when you're first applying for jobs as a new graduate in a few years' time. And it is important that you can, it's just a really useful role to, and I know that some of your mentors have been in that role as well, and they'll be able to tell you more from the inside about that. And as Hakeem was a student representative for us with Speech Pathology Australia, you might decide that that's a role that you'd like as well. And that, again, you can practice lots of these amazing skills in developing your professionalism towards becoming a speech pathologist. Now, something that I can say now that he's not in the room, because he knows that I was going to say it, is as one of our staff members is a very important man. And that's... What was that? You put it on his office, absolutely. If you go to see Tim, you'll see that he's a very important man. It's on his door. Well, he might have taken it off, actually, I think. Why is he a very important man? Because he's our past president of Speech Pathology Australia. So, and he was in that role for a long time, and prior to that he was on the national board for a long time. So he knows the speech pathology standards that we are accredited to as a university. As Joe was pointing out, as academic lead, we are constantly reviewing what we do and how we do it in all kinds of ways. For our accreditation, we have been accredited for 50 years. Woohoo! I know! Isn't that amazing? And that is, let me just say, that's far longer than the other programs that are available to study speech pathology in South Australia. So, he does know all of that, so and just recently having stepped aside from that role means that we have his insight into how Speech Pathology Australia works as an accrediting body, and it's just marvellous to have him as part of our teaching team for many, many reasons. But that is one of them for sure. So before we introduce our amazing mentors and get on to that part of our program today. You've had a lot of sitting and listening and a little bit of chatting with each other, but not enough probably. That's what the next part before we finish, maybe around 2:30ish, but it might not take that long. You're looking at me like, what are you talking about? Well, it's just that's at the outside. So, any questions? Anything that's popped up that you were chatting about over lunch? Yes?
Would you mind maybe just quickly explaining the difference between like a tutorial, a lab and a
Sure, absolutely. So a lecture, and this is the first year that Flinders is doing this, is that all lectures will be mostly pre-recorded, like I mentioned earlier today. So that means that even though they're in your timetable, that's just when you're meant to be looking at that piece of information. It is timetabled in a room because that's just how the Flinders timetabling system bureaucracy works. And that means that it has to have a room associated with it. It will not be in that room live unless your topic coordinator has told you that actually this one will be still recorded but live. So yes, all lectures will be recorded, pre-recorded by your amazing teaching team and available in modules on your Flow topic site. You will also have a PDF of each of the slides and it's recorded for you there. So that's lectures. So that's particularly when it's theoretical content that you are needing to know about, each which isn't necessarily interactive. Each topic coordinator will work out what works best for them and what they think in terms of the content they're providing for you, in terms of when there is a follow-up question and answer online, as in you can come into it. It's a platform called Microsoft Teams. Anybody familiar with Microsoft Teams? Yeah. So it's similar to Zoom, similar to having a FaceTime call or in WhatsApp to have a video chat with someone. But, you know, many more people can be on the call at once, obviously. So that if there's some particular content where we think, I think students might like to be able to ask questions about what they've just been learning about, then we will post Q&A forums, okay, that go with your lecture materials, yeah? A workshop is recorded, but you will absolutely 100% get the most out of that information by attending, because anything that is put as a workshop is meant to be interactive. So even though the lovely people who are watching this as a recording are getting a lot of the information from a live recording rather than a pre-recorded piece of teaching, you don't get the same as when you're in the room. You can't have a chat and an aside to the people next to you, and you can't ask questions. Well, there are several important things. One is you can't ask questions in the real time. Yeah. And that's sometimes what you need to do. Sometimes it's like, you're like, I don't understand this bit. Now, yes, you could ask that on a Q&A live or on one of the discussion forums, but it won't be the same as when you're in the room. I think it's a really good time for, we won't stop questions, it's a really good time to introduce your mentors, because that's exactly why they're here, is because they can give the perspective. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten, I'll talk about tutorials as well, but for them, you know, they can offer some of their perspective about why it's important for each as well. Does that sound okay? That everybody comes down and does their little hello, this is me. So workshops are recorded, but you'll be mostly sitting at tables, so not usually timetabled into a lecture theatre room, but sometimes, depending on room availability, they might be. And that means that, you know, you might be working on something in particular, and then that won't be the same if you're watching a recording of people doing that. Yeah. Tutorials, your evidence-based tutorials, not recorded, as I said earlier, again, so prioritise attending workshops and especially EBLs. because those are the ones where you are face-to-face with your peers in a small group, so it's not the whole cohort. That's 77 of you in first year, woohoo! 77 of you, which is fantastic, but you're in groups of maybe 6 to 8, maybe up to 10, where you will work through issues together. And that's gold, because you know how Timothy jokingly said earlier that if you're not here with your peers, then you can't cheat. And I said, don't you mean like chat about possibilities and explore ideas together, which is actually what tutorials are all about. So that's the main difference, but thank you for asking that, because I'll add that to this presentation and pop it up there. Do you want to do any further introduction about the mentoring program first? You can give a 20-minute one if you like.
I won't do that. Not today. So I guess Kat here again. And you might have seen already, if you've visited the 1104 flow topic, that I have put some information on there about the mentoring program. But yeah, I guess really just to reinforce that, the program's really designed to support you all with your transition to university life. Some of you might be coming from high school, but some of you might be coming from, studying a different degree, or you might have had a break from study. You might have been in the workforce for a number of years and have been inspired and decided that actually speech pathology is for me. So in keeping that in mind, we've got your amazing mentors who've actually been through first year already 2 years ago and have some excellent experiences that they can share with you all, and be a sounding board and support with that transition, help you to navigate, how do I use flow, how do I submit an assignment, where do I get the best coffee. I've given them another tip about that today, so they'll share that with you. And yeah, I guess just flag, if any of you do have any concerns at all, then they can sort of flag that with either myself or with Catherine as your course coordinator, just depending on what that is. But we just want to really see you all supported in your transition to our Bachelor of Speech Pathology. So that's why this program exists. I will say it is not for tutoring. It's not for targeted tutoring. So, your mentors will be able to give you some tips and tricks about, what supported them with the topics that they've already done that you are now undertaking. So yeah, I hope that sort of gives you a bit of a summary, but I'll pass over to them to introduce themselves to you. And I've asked them to share a fun fact, but we'll see. Okay.
Oh, thanks for letting me know that, because I'll make sure. Fun facts.
So I'm Ruth. I'm a third year. It feels weird saying that because I just turned third year last year. But so a fun fact about me is that I'm really into music. So I really hope that all of you guys love music as well, so that we can talk about it. But yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Adrian. I don't know how fun this fact is, but I'm not from Adelaide. I'm from Mount Gambier.
Hi, I'm Sophia. Probably saw you before. Also third year. One fun fact about me is that I enjoy sewing.
Good fact. Hi everybody, I'm Ava. A fun fact about me is that I play lots of different sports, so maybe we'll have to get a footy tips thing going or something like that. Keep everything a little bit interesting, but I'm also in third year as well.
I'm Natalie. I'm also in third year. Adrian took my idea, which was that I'm not from Adelaide, I'm from Ballarat. And yeah, I've been at a residential college the last 3 years, just moved out.
Oh, which one were you in, Natalie? Okay, yeah, because I was chatting with the lovely people who arrived early, and I know that we do have some people here from there, as well as rural people, as well as interstate rural people. So yeah, lovely mix.
Hi, my name is Praise, and I'm also a third year. And a fun fact about me is I'm a bit of an arts and crafts warrior. So I do love crocheting and knitting and the whole shebang.
My name's Clarice, and I'll give you one guess to what year I'm in. And my fun fact is that I crashed my car in my first week at uni. So it can't get worse than that.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Who I actually asked to share what she's looking forward to about the mentoring program too, maybe. You might have a bit of extra.
Excellent. So just kind of feel free to have a seat, everybody, and we'll see if there are other questions for you as a whole group. Thank you, Praise. Okay. I wonder if they photoshopped that yellow behind him, or whether that was they had somebody hiding behind him. Anyway, that's just how my brain works. Here we are with a message from the last of your mentors.
Hi, my name is Sophie. I'm so sorry I can't be there in person today, but I am so excited to meet you all and to work together this year. I absolutely loved the first year of the speech pathology program. It is so fun and challenging, and it completely opened my eyes to what speech pathologists actually do and just how many different areas we work in. The first year mentor program is so great. I absolutely love my mentor, and it really helped me navigate those first few months. And I also made some really amazing friends in that time, so I hope it can do the same for you. I'm so excited to see you begin your speech pathology journey, and I can't wait to meet you all next week. Bye.
Okay, so it would be really great before you, so the next part is just to have some finishing up and some chat and any particular questions, as well as then moving into your actual groups with your mentor. What are we doing with Sophie's group?
Well, I said that they can probably disperse between
Nice,
the other mentors.
absolutely. Excellent. Would be good to hear from third years about what you noticed and what you think is the importance of attending workshops and tutorials. So you're you can talk to it. You can talk to it.
So I think the really important thing about attending workshops especially is that it's like very hands-on. If you're going to miss anything, and don't listen to this bit, if you're going to miss anything, miss a lecture, but you definitely have to go back and watch it to get the material you need for the workshop and the tutorial. Yeah. No, you definitely need it. But if you're so overwhelmed in a week and you need to miss one thing, you're like, I just need a day off, miss the lecture, go to the workshop and you'll kind of pick up what you're learning about. And then the tutorial will help you solidify that because you're talking to each other and you're like, I didn't really get this. Do you get this? And someone else in your group might be able to explain it in a different way. I found that other people in my cohort almost explained things better than the lecturers. They had tips and tricks on how to figure it out. So I think that would be my tip. Attend everything,
Fabulous.
But lectures are the least important.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to attend lectures, as I've said. Lectures are recorded, but thank you. Come on, Praise. Come on, add some of yours. Come on. But yes, workshops.
I think
yes.
as well, adding on what Clarice said, even though you can miss lectures, do emphasize the importance of them, because what you notice is a lot of the time, depending on the type of content, the lecture recording will be turned off because it will be an in-person conversation. They will be discussing certain pieces of content that can't go on the recording. So sensitive information, videos won't show up on the recording. So if you can attend lectures, do recommend, or otherwise you will miss certain important pieces of information. Workshops as well, highly recommend workshops. I don't know if it's still the same for linguistics, whether it's mandatory to attend your workshops, I can't remember. But do recommend workshops and tutorials as well. But lectures, you don't have to attend them. Trust me, I miss 90% of my lectures. But Just admitting that. It's possible, but it's not easy if you miss most of your lectures. So make it easy on yourselves by attending most of them.
Well, yeah, I'll just make it really clear because this is the first year, so you're not used to this. This is the first year where no lectures are live. Okay? They're not live. No.
What did you say?
Lectures are recorded, pre-recorded. We've been working hard to pre-record them.
You just ripped the carpet out from underneath.
Yeah. I know. You're like, what are you talking about, Catherine?
Unless we as topic coordinators feel that it needs to be a live lecture that has to have attention. So the majority will be free.
That's a college-wide change. Absolutely, it's third years. So that means, so yes, the lecture theatres will be booked and available for you to go and meet in as a cohort, but it won't be the lecture. Okay? If you want to go, if you want to use that time, because it's in our diaries, I've seen you, thank you. It's in our diaries as your teaching staff, but this is a directive from our college executive that we are pre-recording all lectures. We will, if we haven't been able to do so, or there is content, like you said, that is sensitive, so we're not showing things like YouTube or videos or whatever in our pre-recorded things. We'll say, this is the link, go and pause the video, go and watch it yourself, come back to our recording, yeah? So that changes how you timetable things, but that is why we are emphasising your go-home message, which is make sure you timetable workshops and tutorials, yeah. So it is different. It's the same for you in third year, yes. Oh, no!
I didn't attend anyway. I don't even know why.
Oh, no! I love that praise. Whoop, made it into third year. I'll tell Catherine I didn't never attend. So does that, so question.
Sorry, I was just double checking. So if we turn up to the lecture theatre that is on our timetables, there's not going to be a lecturer there?
Unless they have put an announcement up on your Flow Topic site that they will be there.
Can I just interrupt to say, it will be clear on your Flow site whether or not you need to be there in person as well. So your topic coordinators will have written it in that, week one module, face-to-face versus here's the pre-recorded lecture. So then that way you don't need to be there in person yet.
Yeah.
I was wondering, because I have friends in other degrees where attendance actually affects like GPA, grading within classes. Is that information available?
So that's an interesting question. Are your friends at this university or other?
She's doing not the actual medicine degree, but the biochemistry screening.
Okay, yeah. So it may be different in different colleges, but the overall assessment policy of Flinders is that we cannot mandate attendance. That was changed in our assessment policy a number of years ago. So when you talk about GPA, we are going to be taking attendance at workshops and tutorials. So we will know if it's coming out in perhaps your assessment that you're not doing as well as you would, I presume, as you would like, then we will know that you haven't actually attended any of the workshops or however many you've attended, yeah. So then I, as course coordinator, if I become involved, which isn't a scary thing, by the way, okay, then we can have a chat about, so what's getting in the way of you coming to these things where you're going to learn the most when you're actually there. But that's why we've got this really clear division between lectures, pre-recorded. You can meet as a group in that particular timetabled room for whatever, if you want to do that. If you would like the lecturer to be there for whatever reason, and you'd need to be able to list clearly which reasons, that you might have questions about, something you watch the pre-recorded lecture and you think, can we use that as our time to get together? Then absolutely reach out to us on the discussion forums or via email. And we're very happy to look at those options. Doesn't mean that we don't want to meet with you face to face. It's just this is what has been told to us by executive of the college. Yes. Sorry, I'll just take a question up there for, yep.
With regards to readings before like tutorials and lectures, is it like, do you know which readings to do before you go into the tutorial? Like, are there like labels on each?
It will be clear, yeah. It will be clear again on your flow topic sites around, you know, this isn't just recommended reading. There's essential readings versus recommended readings. And if it's something where we're saying this is what we used to call, we'd call it a ticket to enter. So like you have to read this before you come to the workshop, we will make that clear. Yeah. So you don't have to guess. Yeah. What did you want to add, Sophia?
Can I just say, like, given lectures are going to be pre-recorded now, if you can, try and make those tutorials in this workshop, like make them a priority, because I find those tutorials really, really helpful. Like, it's in a small group, it's you and your peers discussing things, you have your tutor there. If you need to ask things, which oftentimes you do, it's a really good learning opportunity. All of the notes from the lecture, so you're given like a particular case and some questions that you need to answer throughout the 2-hour time. You're working through them as a group, you have a scribe, people are allocated different roles. That document is then uploaded onto your group site, like onto Canvas. You can look at it later, but reading through isn't particularly the same as working through the questions with everyone. So if you can, really try and make those tutorials, especially now.
Yeah, thanks, Sophia. Yes. Hang on, let me. No, it's just for the recording, because there are some people who aren't able to be here. It will work better. Oh yes, here we are. We're on one of those chat shows.
Thank you. If you're unwell, absent, is it common decency to message your tutor to let them know you won't be there? And then also, can you make up a tutorial and go piggy bank on another tutorial if you miss one and go to another tutorial, or are they all at the same time?
They're all at the same time.
Okay.
So the tutorial groups will all be timetabled as particular time, and yes, you'll be in a particular group.
Yes.
So that's a question for your topic coordinator if you do miss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just that you email the tutor if you know you're unwell, just
Yep.
to let
Yep.
them know.
That'd be great. Yeah. They might not write, you know, a whole lovely message back,
Yes.
but just to, you know, kind of they'll just do, they're like, yes, thank you. Yeah. Next question. Lovely questions. Love the questions. Guarantee that you're not the only one with that question if you're asking it.
I just want to double check for the recorded lectures that they will have a transcript and subtitles available.
Yep, absolutely.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Sure. Over here. And down here. Oh, I've gone past you.
Obviously you said before that like placements are until 3rd or 4th year,
Mhm.
but will we be doing anything in the 1st or 2nd year that we sort of need like those vaccinations and things for?
No.
Okay, cool.
It's the easiest answer to that question. You are in 2nd year.
Yeah.
But
Oh, okay.
not in 1st year. Yeah. So this year, it's good to start getting those vaccinations, working with children checks, all of those things organised so that they then last for hopefully the duration of your degree. Yeah. Yes, but 2nd years organise their own visits on 1 day per week each semester, which you'll get more information about when you need it.
Just wondering when the lectures become available for us to access.
Usually, so what we're trying to do is have them available a week before. Yeah, yep. If it's not available a week before, it means that we're recording it on the weekend, probably, because something's gone wrong with our scheduling. Life has happened, and it might be, if that recording isn't available, that's when an announcement pops up. It's why it's so important to actually look at all your announcements. That might be when an announcement pops up from your topic coordinator that says, actually this one is going to be still recorded but live in the actual timetabled time. Yeah, because we haven't been able to record it in advance. And because, you know, as you've probably gathered from everything that we've been saying today, all of us on the teaching team tend to work across the different programs, you know, and so this is the first year that the second year of the Bachelor of Speech Pathology, Bachelor of Allied Health has its speech pathology stream in those rural locations. And so, for example, I'm working on doing recordings for that program as well as for the bachelor's program as well as for the master's program. So just be aware, you know, that's why you might get those sudden announcements, especially in this year being the first year that we are needing to have those recorded ones. Yeah. Because we used to go, have I got all of my materials ready, anything I need to update, having a look through it, getting it ready, updating, and then turning up for the lecture time like you did. Now we're going review, sort it, make sure it's all okay, make sure we can have a time in a recording pod or in a time alone in our office to record. So, yeah. Any other questions with the large group or for our whole group, our hive mind of third years? No, I know that sounds terrifying. That's just because my husband used to really be into Star Trek and things like that. Deep Space Nine. Ring a bell for anybody? No. So anyway, any other questions before we move into your individual groups to have a chat? Get to know who's going to be in your group, do some more sharing, connecting, and a tour. You will be going on a tour so that you know the places, where you're going. I mean, it's all available on the maps, as you know. You can access them all online, but and for people watching the recording, don't you worry, you can still access that information, but do look out for the people who are watching the recording. Please do look out for messages from your mentor, because it is part of the assessment. It is actually something that is essential that you do, because it's part of the assessment of Kat's topic of SPTH 1104, that you attend and participate in your mentoring groups. Everything clear about the difference between lectures, tutes, workshops, labs? I haven't mentioned labs, which don't generally happen as much for you as first years until second semester, when you're doing SPTH 1103, Anatomy and Physiology of Speech. But Rebecca Francis, the topic coordinator, will take you through all of that, which is attending the Anatomy and Physiology labs so that you can work with cadavers, so that you can look at and learning that. Did you want to come out and... Oh, there are human bio labs as well, thank you. It's my lack of knowledge. Thank you. Yes, yes. So the only topic at the moment for you, which is offered by another course, is the Health 1004. So you don't have to, please don't register for all of the offerings of that topic because you'll be going to too many and you don't need to. And there's enough to get your hair around already. But your mentors can go into that in more detail and answer specific questions about that within their groups. But as Kat emphasised, it's not that your mentors are a tutor for you academically, but they can absolutely assist with pretty much everything else. And they're not a counsellor either, but they can absolutely assist you with getting the supports that you need. I'm so thrilled to see so many of you in the room together. I'm going to leave you to have your mentoring groups. Yes, absolutely. Yes, indeed.
But for anyone online, your mentors will email you. So if anyone's missed out today, I'll send you an email and arrange a first point of contact.
Absolutely. There we are. I tried to save it somewhere else, but it wouldn't